Hello, my name is Alexander Hwang, and today I will be doing my presentation on the League of Legends esports athlete, Lee San-hyuk, who goes by the username Faker, who I selected as my eminent individual. Esports, or electronic sports, is garnering a lot of attention, with the most recent League of Legends event reaching over 200 million concurrent online viewers this past fall. I have selected Faker because he is known worldwide as one of the best League of Legends players, and is the only player who has won 3 world championships, and has earned $1.2 million in prize money and millions more in salary playing League of Legends. Faker was born on May 7, 1996, in Seoul, South Korea. He grew up in a single-parent household and was constantly encouraged by his father to pursue whatever he wished to accomplish. For Faker, this was video games. Growing up in Korea, Faker had easy access to computers due to the plethora of PC bangs or internet cafes that are ubiquitous in the streets of Seoul. Unlike other countries, esports is a part of Korean culture with its own governing body known as KESPA, or the Korean Esports Association, and is the governing body that creates the rules and regulations on gaming in Korea, such as playtime for children, and much like other sports organizations like the NFL or NBA, establishes the guidelines for maintaining a professional league within Korea. Esports in Korea began in the late 1990s with the release of Blizzard Entertainment's StarCraft. Its popularity quickly spread through the country, and within a couple of years through KESPA, a professional StarCraft league was created and even had its own dedicated TV channel for streaming professional matches. Professional teams began to recruit players who often found themselves training by playing over 12 hours a day, living together in houses with desks, computers, chairs, and beds. When League of Legends was released in 2012, the structure for developing future esports athletes were already in place from their StarCraft predecessors. In addition, as previously mentioned, PC bangs are a part of everyday life of Koreans. Students and adults will often finish their days of work or school and go to a PC bang to play various games for the cheap price of about $1 an hour, with some PC bangs having the latest computers for optimal gaming experience. PC bangs now serve drinks and food, making it a very popular attraction for all ages. League of Legends is a game where you team up with 4 other individuals to fight against another team who have one goal in mind: to destroy the opposing team's nexus. At a young age of 16, Faker had already reached a point in playing the game where he often had to wait an hour to get into the game due to his high rank, and was ranked the number 1 player on the ladder solely from his skills and mechanics alone. In 2012, he was recognized for his talents and quickly picked up by SKT Telecom, one of the professional teams created in KESPA, and a stalwart in the StarCraft professional scene. There he teamed up with other superstars from the ladder and created a team under the guidance of head coach Kim Kogoma Jung-yeon. Kogoma was previously a successful StarCraft gamer under SKT and instilled the strict practice regimen and mental fortitude that led to Faker winning his first world championship in 2013, beginning the age of Korean dominance in League of Legends. It was on the world stage that Faker became the household name he is today, dominating over his opponents with his precise mechanics and strategic moves. Faker used his innate mechanical skills in combination with the esports-friendly environment he was brought up in to become the athlete he is today. Had Korea never developed an esports culture with PC bangs on every corner, Faker may have never decided to play League of Legends in the first place. Unlike many other parents who oppose anything gaming related, Faker's father and family all support his endeavors, with even his grandma staying up with him on some nights until 4 a.m. to watch him practice. Lastly, he was fortunate enough to join a previously successful esports team in SKT that knew exactly what it took to nurture individual talent and provide resources to create champions in the esports world. Recently, there have been developments in Asia to create a school that would train the next esports athletes. Even in America, there are colleges and universities that currently offer scholarships to high school students to join and represent their esports organizations: NYU, UC Irvine, and Maryland, to name a few. If I was an educator in such a school or program, I would try to implement the Purdue 3-stage enrichment model created by Falhausen for Faker and other aspiring esports athletes. The Purdue 3-stage model consists of 5 components that interact to create an appropriate learning environment for gifted and talented students. These 5 components are program goals, student selection and grouping, trained teachers, curriculum, and instruction. Program goals would be simple. The goal of the gifted program for esports athletes would be to provide the resources and training required for these individuals to excel, improve, and reach their own personal goals in the esports environment, while providing additional training in mental training and professionalism. Like sports athletes, students would be selected through assessment and performance. Current skill and future potential will also be considered in the selection criteria. Students selected for the program would then be grouped based on age and ability, like many gifted education programs do currently. Trained teachers would come from a variety of different backgrounds, including those that were once professional esports athletes, to coaches, to sports psychologists, to even current professional athletes that will all play a role in designing the curriculum and activities for the program. The curriculum and instruction for the students in the program would be similar to those seen in gifted education today. Critical thinking and decision making can be applied to in-game situations, while flexibility and creativity can be stressed in the creation of different scenarios. Students would group together to decipher difficult in-game situations and encouraged to communicate and challenge each other to accomplish complex problem solving. Lastly, students will practice critical thinking or decision-making or problem-solving skills learned in the previous steps independently by practicing in-game, while the teacher observes and coaches the student, or by coaching one another to improve the overall skill level of all students. The foundations that are being taught in gifted education programs today can also be applied to those that may want to create an esports-centric gifted program in the future. The Purdue 3-stage model may be the most effective way about going about this. This model could be effectively used to develop and train the future fakers of the esports industry. However, in terms of a specific academic curriculum modification for an esports athlete like Faker, I would center most of his curriculum around challenging and developing his decision-making and critical thinking skills. I would include enrichment activities in his curriculum that would involve critical thinking, like future problem solving, and involving in a mentorship program with another esports athlete. I would include the use of grouping by academic ability to put him with other students that have a similar skill set and academic ability, or involve him in after-school activities such as debate club or Odyssey of the Mind to help him with his decision-making skills. Lastly, in his everyday classroom environment, I would implement such tactics as peer tutoring or analysis of conflicting ideas to further develop his critical thinking and decision-making skills. After studying the life of Faker, I learned a lot about how giftedness can be expressed outside just of academic giftedness. For example, Renzulli's 3-ring conception of giftedness of above-average ability, creativity, and task commitment is shown through Faker by his innate mechanical skills, innovative strategies, and a commitment of over 10 hours a day to League of Legends that results in his giftedness in professional gaming. Faker demonstrates many of the characteristics of a gifted individual, including the negative ones, such as perfectionism. At the low point of his career, Faker went to see a sports psychologist for this specific reason, and how his perfectionism and lack of success caused him to spiral downward until he took a long break from the game and returned to his previous winning self. Another concept that I learned was the importance of flow in taking giftedness and turning it into success. Many professional esports athletes will suffer burnout and loss of desire when playing the same game for over 12 hours a day for months at a time with barely any breaks in the middle. In the concept of flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, flow is the involvement of an activity in such that nothing else matters and the individual feels just pure enjoyment, and it is the perfect balance of a challenging and skill-intensive activity. In an interview, Faker mentioned how he lost his motivation to play and resulted him playing in autopilot mode and feeling burned out. Burdened by the expectations of being the world's best player, Faker had lost his flow. However, through new activities such as reading and expressing his feelings through writing, Faker was able to reinvigorate his lost flow and quickly return to his status as world best. Moreover, Faker's upbringing and environment reminded me of the importance of the environment playing a role in the development of an individual. As previously mentioned, had Faker grown up in an environment where Korea was not an esports-friendly culture with the structure for professional esports teams in place, it is quite possible that Faker's giftedness in League of Legends would have never been recognized. In addition, without the support and acceptance of his family, it was possible that Faker would have never reached self-actualization of his giftedness in League, as supported by Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In conclusion, studying the life of Faker really emphasized the concept that giftedness is heavily influenced by the environment and those surrounding the individual. The environment can either advance or hinder an individual's giftedness, stressing the importance of putting gifted individuals in the best possible learning environment so that they may actualize his or her giftedness to their full potential.